records this time. So folks can be a part of it for next time. But welcome, excited to have you. Today we're going to talk about mobile payment options and digital wallets, which will probably be a new stretch for some of you. So I'm going to start with a little video of what the history of the Apple Pay and Google Pay and all that, and kind of does a little overstanding of what exactly digital wallets are, because some of you might not have ever seen a digital wallet actually go. So for those of you who need that, we're all good. So oops, is it showing? Yes. Okay, let me know if you have any issues.
Welcome back. In our fast and constantly connected world, it seems that everything is about convenience these days, right? And even paying for stuff. And today on this Money Monday, we have Tony Rasmussen, Senior VP of Payment and Business Services with Mountain America Credit Union today, talking about some of these new different mobile payment systems. And I am fascinated by these. First, we have Apple Pay that we're going to talk about because you see the billboards around town. You see the different places accepting them. But what exactly is Apple Pay, and are people really buying into it?
So first of all, Apple Pay represents right now a small but growing percentage of card transaction payments. But as you think about credit cards being around in the market for the past 50 years or so and really becoming ingrained into the lives of most people, let's face it, they're very convenient. It takes just a second to swipe the card. It's really not surprising that the first adopters of Apple Pay are confined to a smaller group of tech-savvy customers who are really concerned or interested in the innovation and the technology.
And so we're seeing it here on the screen. You take your phone, basically, you have the app, and it's synced up through, you said, a card issuer, for instance, a bank or a credit union. And it's simply as easy as tapping one of those screens at those little purchase point of sale machines. Is that basically right?
Correct. So more and more merchants are having what we call contactless terminals or near-field communication. And the Apple Pay actually in the iPhone 6 or in the Apple Watch, there's an antenna that actually transmits the card information securely to the card reader instead of swiping the card as we're become so accustomed to.
I just love how convenient that is. Although I am nervous because then you just start spending and spending and spending. But how does this, they say when they came out with this innovation that this will really improve security and privacy. How does that work?
So unlike a card today, when you swipe your card, the card number, your information, some other information is static or unchanging. That information is passed every time over the network to facilitate your payment transaction. But with Apple Pay, instead of sending your card number out, as you provision or put the card into the wallet, a substitute number is actually generated. That substitute number is unique to Apple Pay. It's unique to your phone, and it requires your thumbprint or your fingerprint in order for it to be authorized.
So it's essentially encrypted information,
it
right? Rather than actually transferring your credit card number. Let's talk a little bit about Google Wallet, because this is sort of the big competitor to Apple Pay, right?
Yes.
Tell us about it.
Yes. So Google Wallet actually has been around for a number of years. It originally launched in 2011 in major markets like San Francisco and New York City. It's actually getting a reboot or a relaunch soon, and will have a very compelling, be a very compelling competitor to Apple Pay.
Interesting.
Okay. So that's a little history about mobile payments and how they all work. That video is 5 years old though, so there have been a few changes. The video talks about Google Wallet, which no longer exists. It got upgraded as he was talking about. So what are your choices of mobile wallets? So if we can get my PowerPoint working. There are three main devices or ways to connect to mobile payments. Apple Pay, which is this first one on the left, Samsung Pay, and Google Pay, which is the upgrade to Google Wallet that video talked about. Apple Pay is for all Apple connected devices. If you have an iPhone or a tablet, an iPad, excuse me, not tablet, you would use Apple Pay. Samsung Pay is just for Samsung devices. So it's a little less flexible. If you have a Samsung and then you change to something else, you have to learn a new system. Google Pay, on the other hand, works across any device you have. And if you have Chrome as your default browser, you can use it on Chrome as well. So what are the differences between some of these guys? Apple and Google Pay use the same type of system. It's called NFC, or Near Field Communications, which powers the contactless terminals. Just tap your phone on one of those consoles that you saw in that video, and it will transfer the money accordingly. Samsung Pay has an advantage over the other two. It uses NFC, but it also uses magnetic secure transmission, MST, which basically, when you hold your phone against the terminal, it emits a signal that simulates a magnetic strip like you do on a credit card. And this means it works pretty much across any terminal, even if it's not a new terminal. And so the only time that really you can't use it is at like a gas station, when you have to physically put in a card. So those are the three big ones. So if you see these icons at a register at the store, you can use them. And this bottom logo at the bottom is just a universal for all three, if you see that. Do you guys have questions about any of these before I move on? Hold on, there's so many of you. Yes, no?
Lynn,
Yes,
Karen,
Karen.
these programs you have to install in your phone,
So if you have a iPhone,
right?
it's pre-installed.
Okay,
Apple Wallet is pre-installed on your phone. If you have a Google-powered Android phone, Google Pay will be automatically defaulted on your device. And if you have a Samsung phone, you will have some Samsung Pay defaulted on your device.
okay,
So whatever tablet or smartphone you have, you will have a default program,
okay,
depending on what your device is. You can add Google Pay if you have a iPhone or a Samsung, if you want to use that. So those are your options, pretty much, depending on what your phone is, or your tablet.
if you would lose your phone or someone would steal your phone,
Mhm.
and they have access to your information that's on your Apple Pay, for example?
Mhm. Well, they would need either your Face ID or your touch
Okay,
pad or your code. So, and you can pause all of your credit cards. You can
okay,
notify your bank or credit card companies and say, I lost my phone, pause my credit cards until it's found again.
okay,
It's like losing a credit card
okay.
type device.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions?
It's Connie. I have a sort of a question. I'm presuming that with Apple Pay or any of them, you can only use one credit card. Or can you load in lots of credit cards, but then you have to choose which one you're going to use?
Exactly, you got it right. So I was going to go over with pros and cons of these devices before I showed you my Google Wallet or my Apple Wallet. Do you guys want to see that before we go into pros and cons of using? Yes, I see thumbs up. Okay. So let me pull up my phone for you guys. Hopefully all the tech works. You never know. Okay. Zoom. So stop share and then pull up phone. Sorry, I'm talking aloud. You can laugh at me. Okay, so here is my phone. This top one that says wallet is what you would look for on your phone on the top left-hand corner if you have an iPhone. So if you open mine up, you'll see all of my cards and things in it. So I've got three credit cards, American Airlines, PNC, and Discover. And if you click on one of the cards, it will show you all of the purchases you've made with Apple Pay through that device. And you can go through it if you wish. You can also do rewards coupons and things like that. So like my giant bonus card is here, and I just go up and I scan that and it loads all of my discounts. I've got my State Farm car insurance here, so I can just share that to somebody if I had an accident or something. I've got my, important Starbucks card that I can just scan to and use going into that. You can also, if you do a boarding pass for an airplane or Amtrak or concerts. My family went up to New York City back early March, right before we shut down. And I had my Broadway ticket. I had my Amtrak card or, tickets all on here. So I didn't have to carry around all the paper, which was nice. When it comes to airlines, especially, I tend to still print out a copy and keep it in my purse or backpack just in case. But it's so much more convenient to do that or use my watch. My watch is synced the same way. So when I go to the bank or when I go to the store, especially during COVID, I just pull up my watch, tap the thing and go. I don't have to, pull out a card, sign the pad or anything like that. Marty, you had a question.
And all those tickets that you were talking about, they would all go into the wallet icon. Is that correct?
Yes.
That's
yes.
where they would be found.
You
Okay.
see them. You're still seeing my phone, right? You can see I have American Airlines. It would look something like this.
Okay.
I wish I had. I tend to clean out anything outdated.
Yeah.
So I apologize. I don't have anything, but
Thank you.
I tried to bring it back, but it didn't work. And
Lynn,
yes.
excuse me, could you go back and tell me, how did you pull this up?
Up out of my
Where
phone?
would it be on? I've got an iPhone 7.
Yes. So
How do I get to that?
So if you, your phone, has all of these apps on it. It's this top left-hand one. I wish I could hover it. Can I?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there we go. So it's that top one. It looks like a wallet. So that will bring it up for you.
Okay.
And you can add them. So to add a credit card, I have my little business one if you guys want to see how easy it is to do that. So at the top here, there's a little plus symbol. And you pick credit or debit card. Apple now has a new product. They have an Apple credit card that you can do as well. I don't have one yet. There's no reason for you to get one if you're interested, but if you wanted that, you could do it. And they give you a lot of discounts if you buy a lot of Apple stuff. But this will give you privacy information, and then you just as easy as that. Oh, you can't see that. That's interesting. There's a little camera that comes up and and you just scan your credit card and it will bring it up. So it brought up my name and my credit card number, which it's interesting. It's not showing you that. I like how that's very private. How cool, but I wish you could see this. Anyway, I'll stop talking. Okay, so then I would hit next. my expiration date is entered, and then I add the 3-digit number, which I apologize you can't see, but it's probably a good thing in some ways. Okay, so then I hit add card, and then this is PNC's terms and conditions. And so I just hit agree. If you want to go through and read all of that. What? That makes no sense. Did I put in the wrong pin? Oh, the date's wrong. The expiration date's wrong. That'd be why. Okay, let's try again. Card added. And then you can choose, can you see, this is my business card, so I'm not going to make it a default, but you could choose it as a default. And I'm also going to add it because I have an Apple Watch and I'm a tech nerd. I'm going to add it to my watch as well. So since I've already had a PNC card in my wallet already, I didn't have to run it through PNC. A lot of times you have to like do the animated call to confirm that it's you doing this, or your credit card, you can either do a text notification or a call notification. But then it's there and I can just easily use it. So questions?
When you say you have to do a notification, I would have to call my bank if I.
No, they would say, you know, send, you know how they sometimes will say, to confirm this is you, you're going to receive a call in the next 30 seconds and enter that code number.
Would that be through email and then I enter that code number through an email or
It could
something?
be email, text, or phone, depending on the
Okay,
bank you have
Okay.
or the credit card company you have.
okay.
Yes. Phil. Oh, you were on, sorry,
Lynn?
there you go. Yes,
Is there
Phil.
a charge from Apple for the service?
So there's no charge from Apple, but depending on your bank or credit card, there may be a fee. PNC and debit, the ones I use, don't have any fees. So you want to check with your bank or credit card companies to see, but most of them aren't doing that. Sometimes a retailer might charge you an additional fee, but it's getting less and less common because they know that more and more people are using it.
I see, thank you.
Yes. Yes. Who is that? I'm blanking.
Lynn?
Yes.
Well, yeah. I have a question because I have a credit card that uses that tap symbol, and all I have to do is tap it. Is there a difference between how it transmits information than,
Yeah.
because more credit cards are doing that.
I know some have the chip, but I do think like there's Wells Fargo banks and things that you can do the same thing. It's doing that MST thing. So that would work too. So this is just a digital version of that. So if you want it as a backup.
But so that credit card is already doing the encryption and all the rest when it sends it.
Awesome. Yeah. I guess I don't have a credit card that does that yet.
Well,
I'm sure it's coming.
Actually, I think it's Costco.
Okay.
I could run and get my credit cards, but I think it's Costco has it.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
It's Costco.
Yeah.
And Lynn,
Yes,
I have a
yeah.
question. Hello?
Sure.
Yes. I saw that you had your PNC debit card on there.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
So you're secure enough with this to put a debit card in there?
Yes.
Okay. And you know, when I use the ATM, of course, I have to put the card in the machine.
Mm-hmm.
So is there a way to do this, or you just have to go into the, you can't do that on an ATM, right? You couldn't use it to get cash.
Well, you can take it to the terminal,
Okay.
you know, and just
give it to,
scan it there instead of
Okay.
entering the card. More and more of
Okay.
those terminals for banks have that. So you can
I-
still use your credit card, but you could also do that as well.
Okay, I guess I never used that device, that feature. I always stuck the card in, but I guess there is a card reader there. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, if you see that symbol, those symbols that I had on the PowerPoint,
Yep.
any of those symbols will mean that it's working there.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah. Other questions before we go? Yes. Yeah, unmute. There you go. Betty.
I'm very old school and I like paper receipts. I saw that on one of your credit cards, there were your purchases and how much, but would I have to then go home and write it down? And
So it depends. These purchases that I've done here are purchases I did on my phone. So for example, oops, come on. If I go to the Panera Store app, I'm sure most of you aren't doing this yet, but if I hit, order something, so say I'm ordering a lunch, I can pay here. And all I have to do is double click the side of my thing and it's going to then go through and pay a payment. Oh, the shared window has closed. Did you guys see that? Did it disappear? Why did that stop going? Let's see what's happening. So if you do a payment like that, you're not going to get the payment unless you set it to email. You can set it to email.
oh, that's right.
As well, and then print out the email. If you go to a store, like when I go to Giant and get my groceries and use my Apple Watch, it still prints me a paper receipt.
Okay.
So if you go to a physical store, it will still do that.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yes. So,
So in getting back to the security perspective,
yes.
so I had not been willing to put my credit card into my phone, feeling very insecure about that.
Yes.
So obviously you are totally comfortable with putting that in there. Do you think that that is safer than doing transactions than if I lost my card?
Yes. It's a common myth that it's not as secure as credit cards. But it's actually more secure than a credit card because when you get a credit card, you swipe it and the number doesn't change. It's a constant thing. So if a store swipes it and steals that information somehow, they have it and can charge you over and over again. But the digital payments will be a different number every single time. It sends an encrypted thing digitally. Granted, there are pros and cons, like anything, but in a lot of ways, it's a lot safer than that. And I think it's why more and more are going that way and why Connie's credit card is starting to do that as well. So, yes, it's
So a unique code is transmitted for each purchase?
yes. Yes.
And somehow it's tied to your credit card.
It's tied up to your credit card and your smartphone. So it's a individual code for your smartphone, but also for each transaction. So you get two layers of that versus just the one encrypted or one number with your credit card.
Okay.
Which is good and bad in different ways.
Thanks.
Yeah. Other questions? Joan, you're unmuted, or you're still muted. Hold on, I'm trying to unmute you. There you go.
You can't put your driver's license in there, can you?
I have not tried, and I don't know if I'd want to put my credit card.
Okay.
You probably could.
It seems so easy. Instead of walking out with a phone and a card, to just take your phone and take your driver's license. That's why I was asking. But
I have not tried that. I can try that. let me, I don't know. It's only been credit cards and it doesn't have the credit card.
Just a thought. It's makes sense that you couldn't put it in, but
Try it. Huh.
I
And
guess
my
you could-
phone's no longer connecting to the AirPlay. I don't know why. So yeah, it's not reading my driver's license.
you could always just take a picture of your driver's license and put it on your phone. That works too, I guess.
Yes, it is. But you don't want to share that on social media or anything. I don't know if you've read stories about teenagers who get their driver's license and they post a picture of them holding their driver's license on Facebook, or their parents do. And then it's, you know, people get a hold of their number and use it badly because, you know, they now have access to your driver's license. So, but yeah, I'm sure at some point you can do that. It's probably coming. I've got my library card on here as well.
That would be good.
So Chester County library system has a digital library card. For some reason, my phone's no longer sharing. So, but you can see I just scan that and it goes. For that, it doesn't, for some reason, you can't add it to your Apple Wallet, but you can pull, if you have the app on your phone, you can use it there as well.
The library app, you mean?
Yes,
You
the
need
Chester
the
County
app.
Library app.
Okay.
Which, is, if you search the App Store, Google Play Store, Chester County Library, and it should pop up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Let's see if I can try sharing my screen again. Yeah, technology just doesn't like us this hour. But I was hoping to show you Google Play too, or Google Pay, because I downloaded that on my phone too for you guys. But if we can get that to work. But you can see other pros that I've got here. You know, you still get all your credit card rewards and things. If you know, have a miles card or something, that should still transfer over all your mile points and all that. But yes, so what are the cons? Oops. If your battery dies, you can no longer use it. So I know when I went to like New York and had everything, my Broadway tickets, I could only have on my phone. They wouldn't let me print out a ticket as well. And so I brought a portable charger because I was over paranoid that, you know, so that could be a factor. So if your phone doesn't last very long, or if you forget to charge it, that can be a thing. Depending on the credit card, that they might send some of the information of what stores you're going to and things. You'd have to check your privacy settings for each card. But for mine, it's nothing that I don't think it's worth bothering. The convenience is too handy, and I know they're tracking me online anyway. As we've learned in the past few weeks, they get a hold of all that stuff anyway, so it doesn't bother me as much as some people. And then, as we talked about, you'd have to check and see if your credit cards charges fees or not, but most of them are not charging so much anymore as they used to with the early adapters.
Lynn, one of the reasons I'm reluctant to do any of this, and I keep going back to paper, is connectivity. And in fact, that happened when I went down to Key West just before we were quarantined. I could not get my boarding pass to load on my phone.
Yeah.
And thank God I had paper. So have you ever encountered anything like that? I mean, you go to a Broadway show, you pay $200 for your seat,
Mm-hmm.
and your phone doesn't connect. That's my worry. I mean, am I being too much of a Luddite, or
You had downloaded it on your phone already
yeah?
and it wasn't coming up. That makes
And
no
I
sense.
couldn't get the phone right. I couldn't get the phone to connect.
That seems odd to me because once it's in your wallet, it should stay there, and it's just a code.
It's not in my wallet. You know, this
So
is unlike a couple of the other folks where I am a little bit old-fashioned, more than a little old-fashioned. I like paper receipts too. No, I emailed myself my receipt or my boarding pass, and I had it in an email on my phone. But when I got to the gate and I tried to call up that email, it would not come up. So I had to pull out the paper ticket.
I can see why that would be an issue because you're relying on your cellular plan or Wi-Fi. So if you don't have cell or Wi-Fi, it won't work. But with the Google Wallet, that's not going to affect you.
Oh, really?
So if you add it to your wallet, yes. So it's basically like an image for the boarding passes and stuff.
Yeah.
It's a digital image, basically. So you
Really?
just pull it up. I've used it at Philadelphia Airport. I've done Google things at all the local airports, New York City and DC and Harrisburg.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
I
Good
think
to
I
know.
can answer Ann's concern. When I get down to the airport, I immediately log and connect to their Wi-Fi, so I'm in Wi-Fi. And that way when I pull up an email, it'll come right up.
See, and I don't like to use public Wi-Fi.
I'm very
hesitant
hesitant
public
to use
Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi at an airport. I'm very hesitant to use Wi-Fi at an airport.
Yeah.
But the other thing I do, Ann, is it's twofold. I will try and go through using the app and show them my ticket that way, but I'm also a little paranoid that I'll print it as a backup. But the other thing I do is when I have the ticket on the QR code and I receipt, I snapshot a picture, and that also works to get me through the gates.
Ah,
And
that's a
I've
great
got
The
idea.
QR code. Yes.
I do that all the time when we travel because I too had gotten caught at an airport. And so when I'm home and I, get it loaded up, I just automatically, before I leave the house, I'll take a snapshot, like you said.
Wow.
So that
That's
it's in my
easy.
pictures.
Yeah, I triple protect myself in many different ways. I have in all kinds of forms when I go through the airport.
Right, right. Oh, I will do that. I can't wait till I fly again.
Yeah.
Lynn, this is
Yes.
Dave Goodale.
Oh, hey, Dave.
I just wanted to remind people of a disadvantage of the old credit cards that we're all carrying. It's possible that somebody can walk up behind you, scan your purse, and get the numbers right off your credit card unless you have a purse or a wallet that keeps RFIDs from being transmitted. Everybody is so afraid of going to a phone, but the credit cards that we're carrying around can easily be scanned by somebody walking up to us if they have a device. So I don't think we should be as comfortable with, in this new world, with our standard credit cards that we've used forever. So that's why I'm attracted to paying with Google Wallet. So.
That's a good point. When Bob and I were traveling so much, we actually, we were in DC with kids and grandkids, and I actually saw a setup where two guys got one guy, another tourist engaged, and I just watched what they were doing, and it had to be that they were scanning him. They had one of them talking to the guy, and the other guy came up, and he had his little like camera bag or whatever, and just the way he was and the proximity and the amount of time and all like that. After we walked away, I said to Bob that that had to have been a scammer going on right there. So I came home and I went to AAA and bought sleeves, which I guess you can buy like at Target. They're little thin sleeves, and you just put your credit card in there. And so I had mine in one of those sleeves ever since then.
Right. And the other problem is that if Target is ever hacked, or one of the, like Lynn said, and I don't think that she really stressed it enough, is that those numbers are embedded in Target's records, but the phone changes each time. So the credit cards have a couple of significant liabilities for us that people, even with gray hair, should be getting uncomfortable with continuing to use.
Yeah, there's no perfect system. They all have their flaws. So it's just a matter of,
Say, Lynn,
yeah.
I have a question. Relative to the Wi-Fi in public spaces, especially like the airport, if you use a VPN like Norton VPN, does that make it secure?
It's more, yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Stephen Craig, I know, is one that uses VPNs a lot. So he likes
not
to
on my phone.
Yeah.
But I wanted to just stress that if you're using Apple Wallet or Google Pay, or is it Samsung Pay?
Yes.
You're not relying on an internet connection. I don't know that that point was clear to everybody, because we started talking about the Wi-Fi at an airport. You don't need that.
Right.
In your phone. It's not requiring an internet connection.
Yes. Thank you for stressing that again.
That may be the biggest selling point. Because I just keep thinking about all the stuff that's going out in the cloud, and figure that there are bad actors out there that are just cruising, trying to find stuff. So if it's not using the internet, that is the most. Thanks, Steve. 'Cause that'll help me sleep at night, because I'm really afraid of this stuff. And I started out my career working in payment systems, so I should not be resisting.
What is it using?
Dave, do you know the specific thing, how to do that, other than the or MST or anything? How to?
No, well, it's using digital data is what Steve is referring to.
Yeah.
Steve is referring to. It's not using the Wi-Fi, so.
But I think it works without the cellular too. I think I've had times when my cellular's been low and it's still worked.
Yeah. No, I can't give you any more information. I have this pea brain here, and it doesn't always have a whole lot of information.
Yeah, my brain's not functioning on what exactly it is.
Yeah, I think NFC is just a software app on your phone. It doesn't rely on any other connection. It's just probably a little antenna on its own that sends that to the device, as opposed to Samsung. It sounds like it's magnetic, as opposed to an antenna.
Yes. Okay. So if I can get any other questions about mobile payments. Oh, I just had my phone connected, but now it doesn't seem to be working again. Because another topic or another version of a mobile payment somebody asked to learn about was Venmo, which is a way that a lot of people are transferring money to each other. I love it because my brother, who was never good at paying me back for things, I can actually get him to easily pay me back in a way now. But it's more individual payments. I know friends who pay rent with their roommates that way. So
Lynn,
yes.
I have to jump off in a minute, but I wanted to just say a couple things. One, the question about accessing the boarding passes with Wi-Fi versus having it in your wallet. Maybe it's just a very simplistic explanation of, it appears that the information that you put in your wallet, that's its home. So it's already living there. It's almost like your photos. So it's always going to be there, and you don't need the Wi-Fi to pull it back up again because it lives there. If that's a very simplistic explanation. The other thing, yeah, Venmo's great. I love it. So I'm glad you're bringing it up. And my third question is, and it's just a general off topic, when you are searching on a phone for an app, if somebody says, do you have this app? I know there's a way that you can find it, but
Yes.
would you refresh my memory about that, please?
Do you have an Android or do you have a PC or an iPhone?
iPhone.
So if you scroll all the way to the left, you should see your upcoming events, favorites.
Yes.
There should be a search icon at the top.
Okay. Okay, great. I knew there was something, I just couldn't remember.
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much. The classes are great. I'll see you next week.
Good.
Hey, Lynn.
Yes.
So I just did a quick search on what the NFC stands for.
Yeah.
And in summary, it has to do with radio waves and electromagnetic fields. So it's the two devices talking to each other basically on radio waves. So it's not using data or Wi-Fi from what I can tell from this article. And I'll send it to you.
Awesome. Thank you. Did you guys see my phone pop up real quick?
No.
No, because I was trying a different way of showing. So you're not seeing anything right now, right?
We're
Not
seeing
really.
that you're trying.
Man.
What?
We're seeing that you're trying to screen share.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not working either then.
Then I have a question,
Yes.
Katie. When I've tried to get Wallet or Apple Pay, it requires a fingerprint.
Yes.
And I don't have fingerprints. I learned this when I was, when the police were trying to let me volunteer with children. So is there a way, an alternate way to give the kind of security identification of myself?
Have you ever been able to download any apps on your phone before, or no?
Yes, but not anything that requires a fingerprint.
Fingerprint, that's interesting. There should be a way to enter your Apple ID or something like that. But
does Google
I have
Chrome
to look at your phone?
Lynn, wouldn't the facial ID work?
She might not have Face ID on her phone. If she has you either have Face ID or you have Touch ID. You don't have both.
Okay, I have Touch.
Yeah. So get a new phone. No. Never. But there should be a way. I feel like I need to look at your phone real quick.
Would Google Chrome be different? Does it require a fingerprint?
My guess is it when you're trying to add a credit card that it asks for a fingerprint, or is it when you download the app?
Download the app.
Okay, so yeah, you probably would need to do a fingerprint either way.
Probably would, okay.
There's not a way to, but I know sometimes there's a way you can enter your Apple ID password, but that's not an option either.
Sometimes, but this kind of high security stuff, no, they want the fingerprint.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll keep researching.
I'll have to look and see. This is the Apple Wallet you're trying to download or something else?
Apple Wallet.
It's not defaulted on your phone?
No. They say there's a common problem with women that have used cleaners and cleansers, and it destroys your fingerprint. And so even though I do the tap, 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 tap thing, and it looks like my fingerprint is going in, it won't be accepted.
I know my fingerprint's not there either for my right hand. When tried to do the FBI thing, it was painful. I had to go in like 4 times.
Yeah.
So I
Lynn,
empathize. Yes.
I tried, I did not have an app per se showing up on my iPhone, which is an iPhone 10 or 11, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
But when I go into settings, it's in there. I just have never used it. So it's not set up as an app, but I could go into it and set it up.
Yes. Yeah,
so maybe she can check there.
I
will.
Say,
yeah.
Yeah, you can search and try to find it. You should be able to. I feel really bad that my phone's not connecting for whatever reason. And I could show you some ideas, but of course, tech fails when you want it to do stuff.
Lynn, just one thing she might want to try.
Yeah.
It probably goes back to how you set up privacy settings on the phone originally. So if you go to settings and go back, you may be able to pick some other form of verification other than fingerprint.
Great idea.
So at least it's worth looking.
Great idea. Yeah, go into your general settings.
Yeah, so if it's looking, it may be defaulted to fingerprint, but you may be able to change it back there.
Brilliant idea.
Just a thought.
I don't see this under settings.
In your little, it's like a gray gear.
Right. So I'm there. And then where do you go in there under general?
There should be a privacy section. Mine's under battery. I might have a newer phone than you.
That's the problem is, yeah, they're located under privacy.
Or there might be a touch. Anybody with a touch version, I've got the Face IDs. So I'm trying to find it.
Touch ID, okay, yeah. On mine, it's touch.
Oh, mine says Face ID and passcode.
Just an acknowledgement, I too have the problem with not getting my fingerprint to work most of the time.
Yeah, it's not a lot of fun sometimes. Okay, so let's try this one more time. Any other questions while I'm trying to get this to connect? No.
I just have a track phone, and I did look up on the apps, and I do have Google Pay.
Mm-hmm.
And I can touch the screen, but do they all need your fingerprint? And I'm wondering if this will even do that.
It's possible.
You know, I just set mine up. I just went to Wallet on my iPhone and just touched add my credit card, and it just added it. I didn't have to do anything else.
Oh.
So if you have a little wallet, you have a wallet on your phone. So if you want to do the Apple Pay, if you want to use Google Pay, I don't know anything about that.
If I could get my phone, are you seeing my phone now by chance? No?
No.
Of course not. No? Nothing? Nothing. Oh, my iPad's working. Do I have it connected on my iPad? Let's try my iPad. If I can get my iPad to behave.
Oh, you know what? On my iPhone, it says you can use your passcode. You don't have to use your fingerprint or Face ID. So if you lock your phone, which I presume you might.
No.
But if you lock your phone, you can use that passcode instead of Face or fingerprint.
Good. Thank you.
I guess depending on the phone the settings show up differently. I have an 8, And under settings, there's a special, there's an option for Touch ID and passcode. So, you know, I've got relatively old technology. It's under a list that says General, Control Center, Wallpaper, Siri, and then Touch ID and passcode. And like Jeannie, I have that option of using the passcode, which I do, or fingerprint. So that might be something you could use as a workaround if your phone has that option. Maybe do a search on
Would you
Touch
go
ID.
through it? Would you go through it again? You
Yeah,
went
so
into
I'm in settings. I'm in the settings menu. And I
Yes.
scroll down to where it says general, and then what's listed at the same level as general is general, control center, display and brightness, accessibility, wallet, Siri and search, and then Touch ID and passcode. So if you click through the Touch ID and passcode, I use a passcode, I type in that, and then I can see what all the settings are. I have them all set off because I was afraid to venture into this. Now that I've sat with Lynn, I am gonna try it. But there's the option for fingerprint. It says add a fingerprint or not. So that might be a way around it.
Yeah, that's
Does that help? Would that help you, Katie? Do you have an 8?
I don't get the same options under general, settings general.
No,
that
it's
you-
not under general. It's not, it's at the same level with general. In other words, you don't click through to general, you just scroll down below general.
For Touch ID and passcode?
Yeah, in other words, it's on that first level with airplane mode and notifications and all the apps, passwords and accounts. It's just in that group called where it says General Control Center. It's at the same level with General. That's on an 8. I guess every phone has a different menu. Every
Yeah.
version.
Oh, I think I might be finding it.
Yay.
You see it?
Thank you.
Okay, good luck.
Thank you.
Yeah, I had the same problem when I was doing my fingerprints for the child clearance. Too much cleaning without rubber gloves.
Yes. Okay, so for those of you, since my phone's not connecting, I'll try to do it over here. For those of you who don't have an iPhone, this is a Google Pay, and you can, if you have a Google account, you can log in to your Google account and go. And then you can add a credit card and follow the same way that you did. Oops, maybe. There we go. Follow the same instructions that you would for your, oops, there we go. So scan and bring it in the same way that you did the iPhone. And
Lynn?
Yes.
If you have the Apple Pay or the Google Pay and everything, but you want one day you no longer want to have them on your phone, is it easy to delete or to undo that?
Yes. You just go in and delete them. Anytime you get a new credit card, you would need to switch it. So if it goes expired, you would switch it. Anytime you get a new phone, it's not going to remember your devices between new phones. So even if you back up your phone and bring in everything the way it was, you do need to re-enter your credit card information every time that happens as well. So, yeah, Connie.
Does that?
Oops, sorry, I unmuted, or I muted you while you unmuted yourself. Hold on.
I got it. If you're going to get a new phone,
yeah,
you should empty out your wallet before you get the new phones, because otherwise it's going to stay on the phone you turn in that may or may not get cleaned out by whoever gets it.
Mm-hmm. You should always do a factory restart when you turn in your phone, whether you recycle it to Verizon, Best Buy, or an Apple store or anything like that. It's a good practice whenever you turn in any kind of computer or anything to wipe your computer to factory restarts so that no one can get your stuff out.
Lynn,
Yes.
I went into my wallet,
Yes.
and I actually have never done this, but I went into my wallet and I have a card on file in my wallet.
Huh.
And I don't know, I don't recognize this number. It might be my husband's last 4 digits, but it's certainly not mine. I don't know how it got in there. I want to delete it. This is so bizarre.
You're in the Apple Wallet?
I'm in the, yes.
So up in the top corner, you should see, oops. If you click on one of your, credit cards. I'm so sorry, my computer's misbehaving. So in the top, right there, there should be 3 little dots in the top right corner. And if you click that, there should be a remove this card button at the bottom that says, that's red.
Okay. All right. You know what? It looks like it was, maybe I can't go there. Maybe it was trying to add this card.
Is it the Apple one? Apple just released a credit card and they're really pushing you to add it. So at most all Apple wallets, when you first open it, will try to sell you the Apple credit card.
It has 4 digits and then it says Visa.
You know what? If you've used my credit card was in my wallet. I hadn't authenticated using it, but it just showed up because I use my credit card for everything. I use it, you know, and I think that if you use it on your computer, it's automatically there or something. Do you know what I'm saying, Lynn?
Yes. Well, and I also wondered if it brought anything in because you used it with your Apple ID stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why mine was already there. I just had to say to go ahead and use it.
Okay, so what I think my phone was trying to do was to start to put it in the wallet, and it looks like it needs, it's asking me for the security code now, the 3-digit security code for the next step, and I haven't put it in.
So it's not active.
And it can't go any further than that. That's what it looks like it's doing.
You probably need to request a new code or something, whether it's text, email, or phone then.
Okay.
To get it set up.
Well, I don't want it set. I want it out because I don't even know what this must be my husband's credit card number. Anyway, okay.
It should be easy to remove. But I don't have a half entered one, so I'll have to look at that. So if anybody's entering a credit card and halfway through, see if you can figure out how to delete it. We can let Marty know.
Yeah, really.
So I finally got my phone back and running, but it's also 11 o'clock. So I want to hear your time. So if you want to sneak out, feel free. But I'm happy to help you guys. Nancy, did you have a question or are you piecing out?
I did have a question. All right, so you add your credit cards to the wallet, but you still have to carry your credit cards with you because not everybody accepts the Google Pay. Is that right?
If you have Samsung Pay, 99% of the time it's going to work. If you have Apple Pay or Google Pay, it's still good to carry 1 or 2 cards on you just because not all the stores, I'd say probably 75% of stores will accept them at this point. Most of the big chains, it's probably the smaller local places that won't. And gas stations tend to be ones that are slow adapters. I know Wawa is slowly transferring all of their ones. I've seen them at stores. And there's a lot of gas stations that have like, this is coming, but it's been 6 months and it's still coming. Yeah, it's good to still keep one, but especially during COVID, it's really nice to not have to sign anything. I love the not signing with the little pen during the season, which is just one more thing to push, on a device. So yes, or cash too. It's always an option as well. Okay. Other things. Jean, did you have a question?
Yeah, try to get this feedback.
Oh, you're too close to Bob, aren't you?
Yeah. Well, I'll do it another time. Yeah, manipulate.
Okay.
Lynn, I have a question.
Yes.
I just opened my Apple Wallet. I have not used it or anything, but I can see that my Visa card is there, and I don't know how we got there. Maybe my daughter-in-law put it there when she set me up with this iPhone.
Mm-hmm.
But it was interesting that I had my boarding passes from when we were visiting my son in Houston. So I did that. I went in the 3 dots and deleted the boarding passes. So now it says over there, it says apply now. That means that I don't have the Apple Pay, or that means
that's the
that
Apple credit card they want you to add, but you don't need to.
Oh,
there
no,
should
I
be
don't
an
want to.
X in the corner. You can get rid of that and it shouldn't come back again. But Apple's pushing you to buy one more credit card or get one more credit card, which everybody wants, right? Just one more.
Right. I just got rid of, yeah, I just got rid of it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. So, Stephen. Stephen.
I notice you have both Google Pay and Apple Wallet. Did you do that just for today, or do you use both?
I downloaded Google Pay just for today, but I tend to use just Apple Wallet. But yes, Apple Wallet and Venmo are the two that I tend to go. I know other people use other stuff as well, like PayPal. I know, Stephen, you like PayPal. And there's Zello, which we never got to in my discussion either. But it's basically a Venmo type thing.
Well, I don't send anybody
Venmo
money.
next week, Lynn.
What?
Can you discuss Venmo next week?
Yeah, we can do a Venmo discussion next week and recap on some of that. And Marianne, I know you were wondering about depositing checks on your thing. If you want to stick around and do that now, I can show you how to do that now, or we can wait till next week. Is that something that other people want? Just depositing checks and things?
You could do that next week.
What?
Next week's fine.
Sounds good. And with mobile payments, I'll say now, or deposits, you need to download your bank's app on your phone, whether it's PNC like I use, or BBT, or Wells Fargo, or whatever your bank is.
Lynn?
Yes.
Technical issues solved here. I do not have Google Pay on my phone. I assume it would be safe to just download the app?
Yes, I downloaded the app.
From anywhere I find it?
Yes. If you have an Android, it would be under the Google Pay Store. If you have an iPhone, it's under the Apple Store.
Yeah, I just Googled Google Pay and found the app. So, okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Lynn, I have a question. Is Apple Cash, Pay Cash the same thing as Apple Pay?
So Pay Cash is Apple's version of Venmo, which we can talk about next week as well. Hopefully my computer connects. But it's basically a way for you to pay cash to people via text message, is the short answer of that. So if you wanted to send me $5 just for kicks and giggles, you can text me.
Sure.
Because
This is well worth it.
yeah. So under here, we'll start with Stacy since she's, you know, a guinea pig. So here in the corner it says Apple Pay. Do you see that here next to activity and an emoji?
Mm-hmm.
So you click that, and then you know, either pay or request money. So you know, I could pay Stacy $1, or I could request her $1.
Now, how do I send, where am I sending that money? How do I send that money? Oh,
You
okay.
know,
To Stacy. Oh, I'm sending it to Stacy, whoever that is.
Stacy.
Okay.
Stacy, who's here on the call, she's waving at you.
Oh, hey, Stacy. I don't know Stacy. So I would do that over, but we're going to talk about that next week.
We can, yes.
Okay.
And I honestly, I'm assuming it's hooked up to my bank, but I honestly don't know that because I've never done, transfer money to the bank. Yeah.
So the person on the other side also has to have the app.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
At the other
only
side.
Apple people can pay with Apple Cash. So that's why a lot of people do Venmo or PayPal when it comes to that kind of stuff. What was I going to say? Stacy's our new office assistant. She started 2 weeks before.
Hey, Stacy.
Hey, Stacy.
Welcome.
Hi, thank you.
For Amauro's job. So if you've not met Stacy in person.
Yeah, I took over Laura's position in the office as one of the administrators, and got a couple weeks in the building before the building shut down. So I've been working remote, a lot of PowerPoints and Zoom meetings for the church.
Well, welcome. Hello, Stacy.
Thank you. Hello.
Google Pay.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Yep. Any other questions, Stephen?
I just wanted to ask Jean, she said she didn't have Google Pay. Did you look at your list of apps, or did you look for it on all of your screens? Because it should be in your list of apps if you have an Android.
Oh, the list of apps.
Yes.
I looked at the apps that were on the screen, but not the list.
You have, yeah, there's an icon on my phone. It's the bottom middle icon. It has a whole lot of rectangles on a circle.
Yes.
If you hit that and scroll through, you might find Google Pay.
No, it did not have. Had Google, Chrome, Maps, Drive, Photos, Home, and Gmail.
Oh, okay.
But not Google
Does it
Pay.
just have Pay?
No.
That's interesting.
Just has 7 apps there. I can add an app. No, but that's a generic app. That does not Google anything.
Huh.
That's odd.
So.
I don't even have a list of apps. I don't have an icon at all with a list of apps.
So with Androids, there's an apps button that will show you alphabetically all of the apps you have on your things. What I was trying to say to Perk remotely, if you scroll all the way to the left for an iPhone, you can type in what you want to do. So I can type in wallet and it will pull it up for me. If I'm too lazy to scroll through all of my apps. I've got like 10 pages of, I don't because I sort them in folders, but some people have like 10 pages of apps. So if you scroll to the left and up, you can type in whatever
app you want.
And if you don't have it downloaded, like trying to think of an app I don't have on here. Let's see. Nope. See.
So there's nowhere on my iPhone, there's nowhere where I can see the icons for all my apps. I would have to know it, and if it's not shown, I'd have to go to search.
Yeah, so if you have an iPhone, yeah, you have to search for it. Like Zello would be one I don't have on my phone, but I can click on it and say get, because.
Okay.
And that's how you would pay with Apple ID. So I can try that for next week too, because I've never used that.
Marty, if you go
Yes.
into settings and scroll down, I think you'll find a list of your apps.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I'm going to go into settings.
Keep scrolling down because I have a list alphabetically.
Yes, but that's going to be where you change your settings for all those apps. It's not going to, I don't think.
But wouldn't it tell her what she has?
Oh, it would tell her what she has. So you could read all the apps you have. So like Audible, but I can't open Audible here. I just changed the settings, but it's listed alphabetically. Although there's sections, there's like,
oh, I see that. It's a different section. Yeah, I see it.
For
thank
stuff
you.
And then regular ones.
Thank you. I see it.
Okay.
Lynn, I found Google Pay and I downloaded it and I'm opening it. And while it's doing something in the background, something popped up that said, allow Google Pay to access this device's location, deny or allow. That thing pops up other things. What should I say?
Well, that depends on what you want to allow privacy-wise. For like Google Maps and for like direction apps, like
You definitely need it.
You definitely need that.
Yeah.
For something like Google Wallet, one of the perks is that Google Wallet will be like, oh, you're sitting in Westchester, here are the local restaurants and local stores that are using Google Wallet, or Google Pay, so you can kind of see who has that around you. But you don't necessarily need it either, because it really doesn't matter. So depending on your preference, you can choose to allow or not. So
I think I'll say deny.
Not so much as necessary as some other apps. But,
okay, thank you.
Yeah. Other questions? Concerns? Oh, Joan, sorry. Let's unmute you first. Joan, you're on mute. There you go.
I'm trying to verify a card on my phone, and it asks for a phone number. It has a phone number in there, but it's how do you know how they get that verification information? It only has my husband's email and my husband's phone number.
My guess is that's what the credit card or bank account is set up with.
Okay.
So
so he has to go on and change all that if I want my number on there.
Yes.
Or go through him. I can go through him, but just seems like they even have my old house number on there. I don't even know how to delete that. So, okay, I assumed it had to be that way.
Yeah. You could probably change it online too. But
okay.
But yeah, like I have a credit card that's my parents' account because they want me to have it in case they need it or they need me to pay for something for them. But I had to text my dad anytime I need a security code from him. So
okay.
Yeah.
All right. I gotta get rid of his control and get my control. That's what I need to do.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes. Other thoughts, questions? Next week we'll cover Venmo, PayPal, and the mobile deposits.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
I just wanted to ask a quick question. I have a Samsung phone,
Yes.
so I should probably just go with the Samsung Pay. That
Yes.
would be my best.
You're going to be able to pay a lot more at the stores that don't allow, don't have that device yet. So like the local shops.
Okay.
Use that 99% of the time. It's only like credit or gas stations where you need to physically put it in. That
okay.
You can do that. But you'd have to learn a new system if you ever switch from Samsung to you know, another device.
Right. I'll worry about that when I
fine.
get there.
Exactly. Exactly. But yeah, Samsung has a lot more flexibility when it comes to locations, which is nice.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. Have fun
Thank
setting
you,
it up.
Lynn.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Good to see you all. Have a lovely week. I'll see
Yes.
you next
You
week.
too.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Lynn.
Yep.